It is December 25th, Christmas Day, Friday Night SmackDown. This is the Wrestling Inc. podcast. I'm Glenn Rubenstein, joined by Matt Morgan. And, I was gonna start the night, Matt, quoting a little of Run DMC's Christmas in Hollis.
I don't remember that.
Wait, you don't remember Christmas in Hollis, really?
No, I swear to God, I had their tapes.
Wow. So then you are of no help to me, because at the end, I was trying to figure out the lyric, and the internet is split on this as well.
Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Yeah, that's how he ends it, right?
That is how it ends.
Okay, I do know. Sorry.
But the end, and I've seen this genius says something different, but rhyme so loud and proud you hear it. It's Christmas time and we got the spirit. Jack Frost chillin', the hawk is out. That is always what I've heard. But genius says the orchid's out, saying that's like a Chicago or a Midwestern thing. And I'm like, I always thought it was the hawk is out. And that's what Christmas is all about. But anyhow, the time is now, the place is here, and the whole wide world is filled with cheer. Well, optimism, perhaps.
What would be the hawk?
I don't know what the hawk. I almost tweeted at DMC. I like to abuse my verified status on Twitter by getting other people with a blue check mark to reply to me and my stupid questions.
Dude, I fall for it sometimes, but now, dude, I go and I check their stuff out. If I see like 3,000 followers with a blue check mark, I ain't getting back to you. Because you gimmick, not you specifically, but others, they gimmicked it somehow. I don't know how they got their blue check mark.
This podcast is how I got my blue check mark from this podcast before, and Raj couldn't get a blue check mark. I got a blue check mark from this
because you have a zillion fans. These fans love you.
I've got like 6,000 followers. That's really nothing. Not you. You're like in a six-figure club.
All at once, though, probably like bum rushed whoever the verification people are. So you need to friggin' verify this guy. And specifically, do not verify Raj Giri.
Yes. They were like, he has things he wants to tweet at Vanilla Ice, and he expects a response.
Do you think they'll get back to you, DMC? You should ask that.
I should ask that, because I am now very, very curious about this. Vanilla Ice followed me after I was in your neck of the woods. A little south of you. I was there for my grandfather's funeral, and I was driving around, and I was like, "Oh my God, A1A Beachfront Avenue!" And I took a photo, and I tagged Vanilla Ice, and he followed me. I was like, "That's nice.
That's awesome."
Yes. Well, I like when you're driving around and you recognize places from hip hop lyrics. That always kind of gives me a little kick. It's like, it's like driving around. And you see like, oh, it's the Cheers bar or the Brady Bunch house. You know,
it doesn't happen every day.
Not every day, exactly. Harrell Williams says the hawk is out. That means it's cold outside. I inferred as much.
I never would have guessed that.
I mean, it's context, right?
The hawk is out.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't have gotten that. Good job.
Yes, Anthony Wise saying Glenn and Matt working while Raj McDuck swimming in his super chat dollar.
He's backstroking through that shit. Yep.
Man. But fun SmackDown tonight.
I mean, yeah, we got a title change, right? We got a little bit of odds and ends going on a Christmas day, you know.
Yes. So we knew this was going to happen tonight. We knew that Big E was going to become the new Intercontinental Champion.
Definitely.
I mean, They telegraphed that as much as they should have just advertised. Tune in tonight to see Big E become the Intercontinental Champion.
And sometimes, like I told you guys, sometimes it's okay to be predictable in wrestling. Sometimes. Hulk Hogan, you knew what he was going to do every single match. You paid to actually see it.
Yeah.
Like, I would have paid to see, Big E win a title. We're rooting for him. We're cheering for him. We still feel like this is like a step behind of where he should be by now. Like, he should be in the mention of the heavyweight championship contendership matches.
Yeah.
But I see why they're not, though. Only because Roman's on this show.
Yeah, you can't.
If this was Drew, I'd be like, I'm sorry. I like you, Drew. I want Big E as my champ over you, brother. Sorry.
Yeah. Best in the Smokers World says, look at the bright side. It sucks you have to work tonight, but at least your boss isn't taking away your first names. So there's that. Thinker.
Explain this.
Oh, no. All the wrestlers that have just become like their last names.
Oh, like Matt losing. Okay. And Riddle. Okay.
Just Riddle.
Sorry.
I don't know. Roger's got us streaming on Twitch now before we could get on our own Twitch channels ourselves. We locked that down. Jackson Catlin saying, sucks how much this title faded from back when it was special 25 years ago. See, I feel like the Intercontinental Championship has had a renaissance the last 5 or so years.
With a couple of guys, with a few guys, right?
Yeah.
Miz put some shine on it a while back. Not recently, but a while back. Who else did we think put some shine on that, right? We think Sammy, I thought, if they would have given him more TV time.
Yeah.
Who else would we say?
I mean, Shinsuke, it seemed like that was a consolation prize.
No, yeah. That wasn't an important title.
Yeah, Daniel Bryan.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
AJ for a minute.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, even Dean Ambrose when he had it, I thought was good.
Yeah. Hopefully they get it back there. That was always one of my favorite titles.
Marcus Thomas, $2 wants to know, Glenn, can we review Cobra Kai season 3 instead of Raw? You saw that's coming out New Year's Day. They bumped up the release on Netflix.
When was it going to be?
It was going to be the 8th, and it's going to come out at midnight Pacific time, so 3 a.m. your time, New Year's Eve.
I'm watching it.
Yes, although you know what, we binged the last 2 days, Matt. I know you refused to watch it just on principle, but after people talking in the chat room, made it a priority to watch the Mandalorian season to see Sasha Banks, and she does DDT Boba Fett. Spoiler alert.
Was she just in one episode or the whole season?
No, she's in like 3 episodes.
That's awesome. Is she in as Sasha?
No,
Banks?
she's as Mercedes. She's credited by her real name. No mention of Sasha Banks at all.
Look, what's her character's name?
That was a good question. What is her character's name?
Is she like an alien robot? What is she?
No, she is she is kind of a Mandalorian, or perhaps a adjacent Mandalorian. Koska Reeves is the name of her character, who is listed as a Mandalorian. So I'm not the biggest Star Wars nerd, believe it or not, but with Mandalore, the armor that comes from Boba Fett in the movies isn't actually a Mandalorian. Like his father somehow had the armor and they passed it down to his son. There's like a whole thing of rules. There's like a whole warring tribes sort of situation there. Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Really quick about this in general.
Yeah.
I watched the early Star Wars, right?
Sure.
I loved Boba Fett. That was another cool character, right? But he wasn't a main eventer.
Well, but he was a cool character when we were a kid, though, because we didn't know anything about him. He was a mystery.
This is true. His figure I always thought was really cool. That's true.
Yeah.
But like, do you know what I mean? To have your own series and this huge epic story told about your back, like.
Well, it's not about him actually. So it's about a different bounty hunter. But spoiler: Boba Fett is in this season. We learn what happened to him after Return of the Jedi. But that's, and I'm telling you, like, maybe this is a little prisoner of the moment, Matt, because so much is going on right now. But I do think that in terms of telling a deep story over 2 seasons, this is the best Star Wars thing after the original trilogy. Like, this is better than the prequels. It's better than the new movies. It's even, and I loved Rogue One, the one about stealing the plans for the Death Star. This is probably the second best Star Wars thing I've ever seen. And people know the hype. They've seen Baby Yoda. He's adorable. But no, this is just a really good story. Gina Carano is in it. Bill Burr is in it. Like, it's like some of the episodes have that kind of heist movie feel, kind of Dirty Dozen. Like, it's a little bit Western also. I really liked it. But Sasha Banks, good on her. I mean, she had more to do in this than Roman did in Hobbs and Shaw. Good.
Hopefully something's able to come of this outside of wrestling.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I don't know if you heard this, Matt, but the way Jon Favreau, who wrote and directed this, found her, wasn't WWE, it was on Hot Ones.
I heard.
So take that in your cultural impact, Vince McMahon.
Seriously.
Yeah. Krana Shaw, $5 saying, Merry Christmas, guys.
Merry
When
Christmas.
you're the highest paid, most decorated superstar in the business, you don't need participation awards. Attributing that to Roman, I guess in response to the Slammies. So there you go.
I agree with him. And he's one who received one when he wasn't the champion, as I recall, as a participation trophy, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they weren't ready to put the title on him at the time, I remember.
Yeah.
But it's a good comeback.
So this opening match tonight with Roman versus Kevin Owens, we knew where this was going. Yes, it was in a steel cage. Yes, they tried really hard to make it look like Owens just could have won if he could have got a little more slack and gotten out of there quickly. But we knew Roman was keeping the title, and therefore I don't know that this needed to be the first 30 minutes of the show, a show that started 10 minutes late due to NFL coverage running long.
See, I think you do start it off hot.
Really?
Because he's a heavyweight champion, right? Like, how often do you don't really get the chance to see it that much? Usually it's when AJ was the heavyweight champion or Daniel Bryan was the heavyweight champion. It's not when it's their top person in the company who just, like Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar ain't opening up SmackDown as champion, nor with Roman Reigns. So, like, I thought this was a cool way to kick it off. If you're watching the NFL, you know, wouldn't you be mildly interested if there was a steel cage match to kick off the show? No.
I do like a steel cage match, sure.
Versus not giving like just normal wrestling, like if it opened up with Shinsuke Nakamura or somebody like that come out to the ring to cut a promo or something lame.
I felt like tonight was a variety show, and this is where tonight worked. I thought the women's tag match was awesome. Great seeing all that talent mix it up with Charlotte and Asuka on SmackDown, and then Bayley and Carmella, and Sasha and Bianca. Like, really cool stuff that they put in there.
That was cool.
Big E was given his big moment tonight. So I thought there was a lot. I mean, yes, in between Daniel Bryan versus Jay was cool.
Yeah.
But we've seen that before. So I don't know. I think that tonight, felt a little greatest hits, a little, hey, everyone, it's Christmas. We're putting on a show. And maybe that's it. It felt, and this is such a weird thing to say given the world that we're living in right now. It felt just a little perfunctory. Like, okay. I think that it's important, given the times that we're in right now, anytime we could bring back that sense of normalcy and joy and celebration. And even with Christmas, I'm not the biggest Christmas guy. Matt and I were talking about this off there. It's like my relationship with the holiday is kind of weird. Although today, my father, a rabbi, texting me Merry Christmas, so it should tell you what side of my family won. No, I think that the pageantry a little bit, like it could have helped. This just felt kind of like a pre-tape show. Let's put some good stuff on the air. Let's get it out there. Monday's Raw felt a little more like a quote-unquote Christmas show.
All right, so we have Roman Reigns. He won the steel cage match.
He won the steel cage match. And then just in terms of pure content, they're going from that banger of a match into a triple threat elimination match for the women's tag team titles. Bayley and Carmella versus Bianca Belair, Sasha Banks versus Asuka and Charlotte Flair. You can't beat this. You can't top that. We knew that Charlotte and Asuka were winning, but come on.
Still, that was like who's who.
Yeah.
Like, geez. Like, seriously. This was pretty sweet. Just the lineup alone was like, holy shit.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, maybe it's because tonight was really centered around 4 big matches. Any of these matches could have anchored their own.
Oh, yes.
You know?
Easily. But what'd you think of the match?
I thought it was really good. I mean, look, it's like Bianca and Sasha. There's so much money there. Bayley and Carmella, we know in real life they're best friends.
Oh, I did not know that. Bayley and Carmella?
Yeah, Bayley. Well, at least going back.
Bayley and Sasha were. My bad.
Yeah, Bayley and Carmella. Well, going back to like 4 years ago, what was it? Breaking Ground when they were on that WWE. I believe they talked about that quite a bit.
Interesting.
Or maybe it's Ride Along. I don't know why I know that.
No, that's good information.
But don't you think it's weird, some of the weird backstage stuff? I mean, for you, it's a little different because you came up with some of these people, you're friends with them, you know things.
But now as a fan, I'm always a fan, though, regardless. And now that I haven't been wrestling God knows how long, I don't know things like that. So, like, to me as a fan, that's interesting that those are best friends. I always thought Sasha and Bayley were. Yeah. Just as a fan.
I know. It's weird. It's like, why do I know that Shania Twain and Mutt Lang got together and then their exes like ended up marrying each other? It's very weird. Why do I know this? But I think of this now every time a Shania Twain song comes on. Amin Jassim, $5. Matt, your response to that should have been, that don't impress me much. Just put that out there. I mean, just seemed $5 saying, I love how Big E's big journey as a single star culminated in him winning the title he won 7 years ago as a rookie.
I know.
LOL. Also, Merry Christmas, lads. That was at the weird thing, and we're like, this is the biggest win of his career. I'm like, it's a title he already had.
They're all correct, and that part sucks. I agree, and he's still a step behind of where we all think he should be. Obviously, right? I don't know if they thought Roman was going to catch fire like he did. I don't know. I don't know why they would put him on this roster with, putting him. I would have. He's got to be going for the heavyweight championship. But they've got to build him to a degree as well. Yeah, he's ready, but I'd also argue they could do a better job of building him. We need to see singles win after win after win after win for him again. That's all.
Yeah. Bernie DC saying pretty ironic and cool. These six were in the ring together
Right?
once with all the intertwined matches and programs in the last couple of years. Even Charlotte
Yeah.
Bianca from NXT earlier this year.
Good call.
And this kind of ties into let's see. Sorry, I just had it there and I lost it in the scroll. Man, they gotta fix some stuff with StreamYard, man. StreamYard was saying why weren't the Riot Squad? So someone in the chat was saying why wasn't the Riot Squad? There we go. Alonzo Smith saying Alonzo Smith asking why didn't Ruby and Liv get the women's tag team title match tonight? It did seem like, again, it was good on star power, but this could have given them a shot, maybe to spotlight a little.
To what, lose? To lose?
Well, they would have lost, but at least to be in the match. I mean, think about this, Matt. It's the okay. Think back to when you're on the roster. Think about SmackDown, because when you were, how many people were on the SmackDown roster when you were on the SmackDown roster?
No idea. I don't know.
Okay, probably more than there are now. So let's say there were half as many people on the roster when you were there. Wouldn't it feel weird if you're doing like a match and it's all like these are the top male, big guy, strong talent, and Matt Morgan's not in the match? Don't you feel like, hey, you couldn't have found a spot for me? I couldn't have just waved hi, said hi, mom, it's Christmas, something on there?
Yeah, it's always one of those deals where I'm being serious. That I always think there's something more I should have done, and I'd go ask the office.
Yeah. Well, and Alonzo Smith's pointing out that at least Ruby and Liv are actually a tag team as opposed to Bianca and Sasha or Bayley and Carmella. So saying they're just not thrown together. And I agree with Alonzo. I think, and that's what I like about these. Although at the end, were you ever involved? We'll talk about it. But were you ever involved in a shoulder hoisting moment, both in professional wrestling or in your personal life?
No.
Never. Someone won the big football game and y'all hoist him up on your shoulder, saying for he's a jolly good fellow.
Maybe in real sports, I'm just not remembering it.
Okay.
But
it always feels a little forced.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, like the forced curtain call. So after this match, we went right to Daniel Bryan versus Jey Uso. 4 matches tonight, folks. What can we say, man? Daniel Bryan won this one. We know Jey went over on him. I think the last time that they faced one another.
Yes.
This is really good. I mean, props to Daniel for working such an intense program with Jey and letting Jey look like $1 million.
This was an awesome match. Jey still got over on it in this match, big time.
Yeah,
this was a very good match. There's no such thing as a bad Daniel Bryan match, but Jey was right there with him. So, what do you say? I mean, should Jey be losing matches per se? Maybe not, but it's Daniel Bryan.
Yeah. And then I thought this was interesting because, they talk about Christmas creep. It starts earlier and earlier each year. Here we are, December 25th, and Daniel Bryan, talk about Royal Rumble creep, declared himself for the 2021 Royal Rumble match. This is the first.
Whoopie-doo.
I know. Is that how it works? You can just declare yourself, then you're in?
I didn't think so. I thought like the office has to tell you you're in. You've won X amount of matches, right? And therefore you've qualified. You know what I mean? When I was there, you had to have a qualifying match, generally speaking. And then if you won that match, it'd give extra stakes on a normal SmackDown match. I think I wrestled Orlando Jordan to qualify for my Royal Rumble spot one year. So like just instead of just Matt Morgan versus Orlando Jordan, at least there's a stake in that match.
Which is kind of crazy, though, to think about it. Because, I mean, talk about, when they do an 8-man or 16-man tournament, it feels excessive. Think about 60 qualifying matches for a 30-man tournament.
That's too much.
Yeah.
You have your top talents, right?
Yeah.
You have your Undertaker, JBL, Cena, whomever, Brock Lesnar, all these people. They're definitely automatic number 1 seeds. They automatically are in that match.
Yeah.
I would say the next, how many people are in a Royal Rumble match? 20?
30.
So then I would say 20 of, 15 and 15. I'd say 15 of them, 10 to 15 of them have to work their way in, or storyline, have been part of it. They earned the way in somehow. And then the other 15 are just main event talents, essentially, so they automatically get it. But this way, Daniel Bryan's dream was saying, hey, I'm in it. Well, then why isn't, like, the biggest scrub on the roster just saying it then? Why does he just declare it? If it's that easy.
There's not that many. Are there? This is kind of a weird question. I think, are there even 30 guys right now between the active Raw and SmackDown rosters? I feel like terms of
Yes.
active talent, it feels the smallest it's ever been.
Really?
Like the guys we see all the time.
Maybe you're right.
I don't know. But then we come to the main event tonight, the Lumberjack match for the Intercontinental Championship, Big E versus Sami Zayn. And wouldn't you know it, Sami Zayn kept trying to get away, but the Lumberjacks kept putting him back. Okay, did you ever work the outside of a Lumberjack match, Matt?
Yes. In Hard Wrestling, it feels like I've been in like 50 of them as the wrestler in the Lumberjack match.
Yeah.
But I've had a couple times when I've been on the outside too. Yeah. You just know, like when you go over the match beforehand, and you'll go over it with your opponent, and then the office will have a couple spots in there. But like the two talents will talk to each other and say, "All right, now I'm going to shit can you out of the ring. I'm going to make sure the heels get on you on the outside, start beating you down a little bit, let them get some heat on you, then throw you back in." Then your job is to go talk to all those other heels and say, "Hey, at this part of the match, I'm going to get shit. On my second time being shit canned out of the ring, you guys are going to put the boots to me for about a minute and then throw me back in." Like it's very, very simple.
I mean, I feel like they only do a couple of these a year, yet it also feels like a very overdone gimmick match. But that being said, the match itself I thought was great. Sammy still just continues to peak in terms of where he's at in his career. I think with the size discrepancy and the different styles, him and Big E put on a really good match.
Yeah, he's good.
And I don't know that this hurts Sammy.
No, God, no.
Yeah,
He's got the Chris Jericho heat to him that I always title this with, because he's one of the first ones I've seen be able to do this, and that is he can lose every freaking match in a row.
Yeah,
as long as you give him a microphone a week later, don't matter. He gets it back like that. He's so good at what he does. He really is. He's so annoying. He is so annoying that you want to backhand him right across his mouth. Just shut him up. I love him. I love him. I love his persona. And I love how comfortable he is with just being a jerk. Something to be said for it. He does a good job with it.
No, he's exceptionally good at what he does. So while Big E was being hoisted on the shoulders, Sammy looking just dejected, defeated.
Yes.
Sitting up against the barrier. He's doing everything is shaking his fist, going, "Oh, I'll get you, Big E."
Yes. He'll get his heat back, guaranteed.
We did have some pyro and confetti. So, I mean, good for Big E. This, was a feel-good moment for him.
This is what it says to me more, though, you guys. I know everyone's like, and I'm with you guys in the chat, and Glenn said this too, that this has been done before, right? This is like rookie. This is rookie monster, Big E Langston. Yes, this is true. He's already done this. But to me, this signifies what we've all been waiting for, which is for them to start this rocket on him. That's what my hope is here, at least.
I'm afraid it might be more of a hoverboard than a rocket, with Roman at the top of the.
Yeah. What I mean by rocket is just feed him people. He does not lose another match from now for 6 months. Yeah. There's no reason for it.
I mean, him versus Roman would be fantastic, but if they could do the Rock versus Roman, though, they have to do that.
They do, but if they could build Big E,
nothing
but wins from now till then. Why can't he work Roman for the heavyweight championship on WrestleMania? Yeah, I'm serious. I think he is that good.
Joey Dorjan saying, "I thought this was the best SmackDown of the year, and it felt like a house show." It did feel like a house show. I was trying to put my finger on it. Like it was very fun, very light, predictable outcomes, feel good moments. Got to see all the talent.
Well, one thing to point out for house shows, though, for everybody watch in the chat, and the guy who said that, house shows are longer matches. You need to remember, and two, you guys hate rest holds. Go to a house show.
It's true.
We work 2 to 3 holds per match, generally speaking, on house shows to kill the 20 minutes that we got to pull in a match that we normally are doing like 5-6 minutes on TV with in the TV storyline match, But then you're married to that person on the road on house shows, and they're asking you to stretch like 22 minutes. Like, all right, so listen, I get on the ref. I'm like, you ring that bell. Like, oh, you got to get in the ring first. All right, fine. I'll step over the top rope, ring the bell. And then I'm gonna get out and I'm just gonna stall time.
walk around the ring.
Yes.
Yeah. I know the drill.
Yes.
It's weird. Like my wife and I, we like going to house. Like we much rather go to a house show over TV. But I'll tell you at a house show, like because we like to sit on the ramp. It's exciting when everyone comes out. You have the entrance. It's exciting when it goes out of the ring. Yeah,
more personal feel to it, and you get a better chance. I think, guys, with TNA, you gotta give them credit on this. Their house shows were freaking awesome. They were so good on autographs. I thought they bastardized it a little bit, and we didn't feel like stars as much because you could see us 55,000 times within that one house show. Like, hey, meet Matt Morgan. Wait, you already got his autograph before the show? It doesn't matter. You can meet him at intermission too. Meet Matt Morgan after the show if you want an in-ring photo. Meet Matt Morgan in the outhouse, but on your way to your car in the parking lot. It's like they overdid it, but by the same token, the fans I do know had a good time with it because you can come out of there from spending like $25-$30 and pretty much get almost the entire roster's autograph. Amongst other like DVDs that you probably don't watch, and some other stuff. I thought they did a good job with it, but
no, I'm going to tell you the biggest hack that I found for WWE house shows is, and all wrestling in general, if you want to have a really, really fun experience, interact with the wrestlers a lot, sit on the ramp. There's like 3 sections on the ramp. There's the front section, which is insanely expensive. That's the one that like gets you right at the corner.
Right.
There's the second section, which is like row 2 to row 6. But then if you're in row 7 or 8 back there, you're paying half price for your ticket, but you're right there on the ramp. You get the entrances, you get the exits, you get when someone gets tossed out of the ring, you get the interaction. Like it's a much different experience. It's the only way I'll go to a wrestling event. But you're right though, because in between the entrances and those spots, there is a lot of like, well, okay, I guess I'm going to sit here and I'll mess around with taking photos on my phone and see if I can perfect my technique a little bit because there are boring ass stretches during house show matches.
Sure. Yeah.
But it's always that. It's always the heel's going to walk around the ring, the fake, the false finish with the 1, 2, 3, teaching the ref how to count. It's like the greatest hits of house shows. I don't know how you dealt with that grind. Was it weird? Because if you're in like a band, right? Like you get to go, you get to play your set each night. You have, the peaks, the valleys, but there's a lot of energy. But with all you're talking about with the rest holds, with the theater, the theatrics of it, like how was that process? Like, what did you like about it? What didn't you like about it? What was exciting? What was boring?
I liked because that's usually where I did my most improvement. Yeah. These were the shows that I would try new things out that I'd be too scared to try on TV. And try new ideas. Yeah. Especially if it's somebody I've been working for, like Abyss, for example. There was a couple different things that we used to do. We used to do this one spot, but it took me to doing it at a house show to where we started doing it, which I'd put it, I'd go to put the chair I was the heel, he's the babyface. And I'd go to put the steel chair in the corner underneath the top turnbuckle and the second turnbuckle. Yeah. And I'd always go to shoot him in, right? And then he would reverse me. And sure enough, that means Matt Morgan's going to eat his own chair that he put there, right? Nope. I would do an up and over, and it would look like Abyss would come flying back in and like he was going to spear me through it, but he would catch himself. We would build an entire match around that chair in the corner. We would give 12 minutes worth of just this ridiculous, long, elongated spot. Yeah. And keep teasing that chair, keep coming back to that chair, keep coming back to that chair. So it was little cool things like that, and we ended up putting that in a pay-per-view spot. Oh, nice. But for me, I got a lot better in WWE house shows. That's definitely my fastest crash course test in learning was being able to be on the apron, tag team in like 6-man tags with like Brock Lesnar and people like that. And I learned a lot that way because you could talk to each other out there. You don't have to worry about the mic catching you guys talk to each other out there so much. So literally Brock would like yell things to me right out there in front of the fans because it made sense. I'm a rookie. He's a heavyweight champion. He should make it look like he's kind of coaching me in a way, right? It makes sense. Yeah. So like he did things like that, and I learned a lot. But you can communicate a lot easier with each other out there, and you see what works. If the fans are biting on it, then you go into that hole that I know fans that don't like, but that's a good opportunity for me to talk to my opponent. Like, okay, that shit we just did, didn't work. So what do you want to try now? And nowadays, though, fans have it better on house shows as far as the entertainment in the ring goes because now they're memorized. All these wrestling matches you all see nowadays, all these spots are now memorized. When I was wrestling, you memorized the bigger high spots, but the in-between shit we would not do. We would not know until we were out there to figure out what was going to work and what wasn't. If it was a cold crowd and it's on a house show, then there's certain things that we wouldn't do.
Yeah.
Not being lazy, but because we got to, quite the contrary. I mean, we got to work harder because they're cold to get them hot. Yeah. And so we couldn't do what we would memorize and plan. We got to change it on the fly. And so therefore house shows, I like them better because you can improve more, especially as a younger talent.
Yeah, it's more of a workshop, a work in progress.
Yeah, and then my favorite part was always going back to the car and having a chance to maybe meet fans, you know?
Yeah, no, it's very cool. Zook Enigma 499 saying Big E would have to lose the Intercontinental title to face Roman unless they do a super match with the IC title versus the World title Mania if Big E is built correctly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not hurt my feelings. Who cares? Fine.
I mean, with the Intercontinental title, I think Sammy has done a good job of making it mean something, but kind of more storyline. But I think with Big E, like, you're right, they could just make him like a dominant champ.
Yes, absolutely. And plus, they can get all the way there because he'll look good in his graphics and things like that as the champion. Think Warrior versus Hogan, if you will. Champion versus champion. Super hot now. Big E going into WrestleMania. Fingers crossed they don't mess this up, right?
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with him if he wins. Then he just he decides to vanquish the Intercontinental Championship because he thinks that's the stepping stone championship to become heavyweight champion, which is what it used to be.
Yeah.
They used to literally say that when Superfly Snuka had the Intercontinental Championship. I'll never forget Gorilla Monsoon saying that. Actually.
Yeah. It's weird though, because it's hard that anyone could look at Big E and think that like he doesn't need a stepping stone. That guy's looked like a world champ from day one. Yeah.
But what it does is it tells us fans that versus him playing grab ass backstage, playing puzzle pieces games. I don't want to see that crap. I don't want to see Big E rocking a cardigan backstage playing Sorry.
I do have to say that
Connect 4
at a house show. He was wrestling a makeshift. New Day was wrestling a makeshift 3-man team, and watching Big E dance seductively to Mike Kanellis's "This Is the Greatest" music while Mike did his entrance was one of my favorite house show moments. Big E is quite funny, very funny.
He is, but now it's time they put the mean streak back in him. There's nothing he can't play now. There's nothing. When everyone's saying, "Oh, why are they making him do all silly, stupid stuff?" Remember what I told you guys? I go, because there's something to this to be able to play something you're uncomfortable playing. So when it comes time when they give you that ball back again and they put you back in a main event situation, God willing, you're more than ready. There's nothing that you can't do as champion. When you're champion, you're supposed to be carrying that company, meaning you draw all those house shows. It's you as champion that draws those shows, generally speaking. So you need to be able to do everything is usually the thought behind it. Big E, please somebody explain to me his weakness because he doesn't have one.
No, I get it. And I'm trying to think, it's been a while since we had like a big, the main champ be someone that wasn't like serious. I mean, even with The Fiend, right? It was still like, that was a hardcore gimmick. Yes, you had Bray in the Funhouse, but I'm trying to think when the last time there was like kind of comedy at the top of the card.
He ain't going to be comedy.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. They kind of remove those layers,
Definitely, because we know they're there, right?
Yeah.
He can be entertaining and funny, haha, when it needs to be, and he can still sneak that stuff in. But they need to make him into a killer, not a jerk, but just a monster. You know what I mean? That he is. He's a world-class athlete.
Well, I mean, that's where Drew in that stupid 2020 sketch with Drew cutting the promo on 2020, it was just kind of like, dude, you're the champion. Like someone should have said this is a Dolph Ziggler spot if I've ever seen one. Like this is why we keep the Miz around. Yeah. Like,
right. No, you're right.
Why is Drew like Sheamus would have been perfect for that? Why is your champ out there doing this?
Yes. No, you're
wrestling a CGI 2020 monster. Antoine Fair, $5. Saying, guys, Big E, if he gets a shot, won't be till next year. SummerSlam. I think they're set through Mania. I don't know, but I'm sure they're booked till Mania. We'll see. Deadpool Party confirming earlier. Wow, really wrapping it all around, saying the Hawk is out means it's cold AF.
Yeah.
See, Different
Cool.
regional slang. I learned things. Yes, everyone, the 2020 thing, Mr. Pill. Jesus Christ, the 2020 thing. It's really bad. Anyhow, I think that's all we got tonight, Matt. It's
Yeah, it was a
Christmas,
short matches.
show.
Yep.
But hey, appreciate everyone tuning out tonight. This is like the hardcore fans, the faithful.
Yeah.
We're going to be back here Monday, probably to talk about the least watched episode of the year of Monday Night Raw.
Definitely.
But hey, maybe Raj will show up.
We shall see.
Tune in. I had such a good time doing this with you and Alfred on Monday. That was a lot of fun.
It was fun. He's pretty freaking cool, isn't he?
Yeah, Alfred's great. Great addition.
Has good chemistry, all three of us, too. So hopefully we can kick Raj out of this. I know he wants that. He wants that. I'm zipping my lip.
Seriously. Just no more 4-man shows. It was great when we had Ryback on, but it's like when there's 4 of us, it's like no one gets a chance to get their shit in. Like,
it's tough.
It's just hard.
I remember Justin, I felt bad. He didn't get a lot in that night, right?
Yeah. It's just hard whenever we got 4.
Yeah.
You know, it's like one person has to be the designated, like, just chime inner, you know? Okay. Well, on that note, Matt, I'm going to let you get back to your family. It's Christmas. I know it's late there. I'm going to go watch Christmas episodes of old sitcoms because that's how we're living. And get you back here Monday night on the Wrestling Inc. podcast. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
And a Happy New Year. We'll see you Monday.
New Year.